Bronze in Hebrew, nechoshet, is spelled the same as serpent. With a cross at the end, it adds an even richer element to nachash nechoshet, which is the ultimate play on words. So the account in the Garden of Eden is that Nachash, the serpent, began to seduce mankind to pursue wisdom with which he may exalt himself over access to life itself. The judgment that came there in the garden in the middle of all that rebellion was that God made a promise. The seed of the woman would crush the head of the offspring of the serpent. In Numbers 21, Nachash HaNechoshet, I want to look at that Hebrew word. So we've already talked about Nachash derives from the hissing sound that you say when you say the word. And Nechoshet, which is bronze, it derives from the same root word. In fact, these two words are spelled the same, except Nechoshet adds one letter. So the sound that gives Nachash its hissing sound is shin, the Hebrew letter shin, which literally means tooth. In fact, it's written in ancient Hebrew as, it looks kind of like a W. It's like jagged teeth. Shin. Nechoshet is spelled the same way, except after tooth, you add a tav. The tav, the ancient tav, looked like a cross, like somewhere between a cross and an X. It was the sign of a mark or a covenant. If you add a cross at the end of serpent, after the serpent's tooth, it spells the location and the means by which sin is expunged. Nechoshet was used to make the altar of burnt offering. And the altar of burnt offering was the place where the children of Israel understood the place where sin was reckoned with. So do you remember the promise in Genesis? That the seed of the woman would bruise the head of the serpent. You can see it even in this word. And if you think back to the judgment in the garden, there was a judgment pronounced on the woman. With travail she would bring life into the world. Well, with the travail of Jesus' soul, when he was offered up on our behalf, he brings many sons into glory. He births them into the kingdom. He also bore the judgment of the man. From the sweat of his face, the man would eat bread. In order for him to provide us the bread of life, did Jesus. The sweat on his brow became, as it were, great drops of blood as he was offering up his will when he said to the Father, "Not my will, but thine be done." So that you can understand that all the judgment that was pronounced in the old covenant, Jesus bore that judgment for you if you'll receive him in the new covenant.